Hello beer tubers and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the master of hoppets. Today checking out a big old stout from a brewery that is new to me. This is from Texas. This is from Dallas, Texas. And this is from Celestial Beerworks. And this is their Death Star. So this was a brewery that's brand new to me. I got this bottle on Beerdome. So thanks a ton to Beerdome for the beer. This was imported to Europe. I think it's just two beers. This and a beer called X Wings or something like that from this brewery. It's a brewery I think I might have heard of them, or maybe I'm mixing them up with Celestial Cerebral. I think I might be. But otherwise, I think a new brewery to me. I haven't tried much beer. I mean, and then they're in Texas. It's really cool. You know, Texas is one of these places I've had so much beer from and so much like food inspired by, but I've never been there. Like, it's one of the bucket list places for me to go in the States. Like, I'd love to go there now, both food and beer, because there's so many great breweries, but also it's the birthplace of some of the best barbecue in the world. So it's also one of the reasons why I'd love to go there. So this is a massive 14% Imperial Stout aged in Heaven Hill Bourbon barrels for 18, or it says in A, so maybe it's one barrel of Heaven Hill Bourbon barrels a Heaven Hill Bourbon barrel even, for 18 months. And then it's conditioned on heaps of coconut, pistachio, and Madagascar vanilla beans. So what's interesting, it's a drum kit, and then you got the Death Star on there that's just kind of like edited into the drum kit, and then it's Ringo Starr from the Beatles. So this and the other beer is like a Star Wars and Beatles hybrid reference, because the other one was a reference to Paul McCartney or something, and that was just straight barrel aging, no adjuncts. And I got the one with adjuncts, although I prefer the beers. Usually, I love big barrel aged stouts, and I love stouts that really showcase barrel aging well. And I also love adjuncts in big stouts, but it should be, you know, adjuncts where you also taste the base beer and you taste the barrel, and not just like this crazy over the top thick gloopy coconut stuff that we're getting to a point with big stouts where I think it's also too much. So, you know, I love both, but I also don't drink them as often as I used to, although I have a lot in the cellar that I need to try. A lot of fresh stuff. I've been on a big fucking Franconian lager kick lately, just because I had so much Franconian beer, and I'm so stoked, and I still have more. But we're taking a break today and we're trying some stout. So I'm looking forward to this banger here. Interesting, they put, I think it looks like tin foil or something in the wax on the bottle. And the bottle is a bit nostalgic to me because it reminds me of Prairie Artisan Ales. They used exactly the same kind of bottle. And also, actually, just thinking of it, Founders, it's the same bottle shape as well. A 12 ounce, I think, bottle, which is, 12 ounces, which is 35 centiliters in Europe. So let's check this out, 1 ounce. So pour is a rich, pitch black color in the glass. It looks like an Imperial Stout. It's got a slow moving CO2. It's got a nice tan head. No light penetrating this beer whatsoever. Let's check out the aromatics. Loads of vanilla and loads of pistachio. This is it's almost like vanilla frosting on the nose. The bourbon's there too. It's like quite fudgy but heavy on vanilla. Do you know what? It actually does remind me a little bit of barrel aged Prairie beer. I remember Prairie had always done like lots of different barrel aging, barrel treatments to their barrel aged beers, lots of different adjuncts. But this smells actually similar to a Prairie beer to some extent. There's also like some caramel and some toffee vibes. Not much of roasted malts, mainly like just a chocolatey nose. But the pistachio and vanilla really shines on it. And its pistachio is really nostalgic for me, because my dad is like, one of his favorite snacks was roasted pistachios, just with salt. And you got them in these bags and you had to crack them open and you ate the nuts. And when he bought pistachios, my sister and I would just go ham on the pistachios. It was like, it was like, once you pop, you can't stop. And we were just like, we would end up eating all the pistachios before my dad would have had a chance to really try them if he bought them, because we just got so addicted to them. And it's like really nostalgic for me. But what's really interesting though, I never got really liked pistachio ice cream as a kid, but I love salted pistachio, which is weird. I love salted pistachio, talking like the person from Europe who's been living in America for so long. Hey friends, cheers. Let's try this beer. Cheers. Thanks to Beerdome for the beer. massive hit of coconutty umami there up front. Wow. That's really pastry done right. Massive coconut and pistachio and vanilla flavor. Like all adjuncts described on the label are there, and they are in perfect harmony. And it's thick and it's sweet, but it's not sludgy, syrupy, and too much, which is really nice. But it's interesting because the adjuncts are so forward. I need to have another sip here just to see if I can find the barrel. I was trying to reference those. If you ever watched Family Park, oh my God, I'm just so European right now, mixing things up from American culture. Oh my God. If you ever watched Family Guy, there's these European blonde dudes who are becoming Americanized, and they have like this super stupid European American accent. And sometimes I feel like I have that because I stayed in the States for a while. I kind of adopted a little bit of an American accent instead of speaking like I come from Denmark. And sometimes, like, I watched the video, or I remember watching these episodes with these guys, like, oh my God, that sounds like my accent. It's true. But yeah, this is really good. Sidestep there. I think the barrel is a bit understated, and it's there, but it's not like barrel first, adjuncts second. It's adjuncts first, barrel second. Quite a sweet beer without being too sweet. I'd imagine if you're a local and this is like, I could see like this is a beer you'd go totally nuts for. Like, yeah, this is big adjunct pastry kind of beer. And again, it's pastry done right because it tastes like the real ingredients. There's a little bit of a weird vanilla frosting or Cool Whip flavor to it. But I sometimes get that with these kind of stouts when they get a bit sweet. And this is definitely sweet. I don't think it's too sweet, but I'm sitting with a bottle on my own, and I'm happy that it's a 12-ounce format because I think a larger bottle would be too much. But in terms of flavor, it's big time roasted pistachios, big time toasted, like creamy coconut, almost like coconut milk. And then the vanilla plays in with vanilla, and then also like this kind of Cool Whip or vanilla frosting type aroma and flavor. And then on the back end, you get the barrel. I think what it really lacks is umami. It lacks some roasted maltiness and like depth. It's like very top bright flavors only and no like bottom kind of deep flavors, if that makes sense. Like you get all the brightness that's up front, but the depth underneath that you need for it to be world class is lacking to me. Like I want like even more depth and richness from a base beer. Like this, I think it's a lot of bright, rich flavors. It just doesn't go into having like that real rich depth for me to think it's a world-class beer. But I'm sure a lot of people will think this is a world-class, and especially if you're all about the pastry, you're probably going to think this is world-class. But I want mainly a beer where the stout gets to shine a bit more. Like this is also really sweet. I'm imagining in the long run it might even be a little too sweet for me, but I really can't fault the adjunct flavors because they're so popping in there. It's just interesting with coconut. Often you get like this umami, toasty Danish dream cake top thing. You don't really go into that here. To me, it's more like milky coconut. And I wonder if that's just because of the way it's added or the base beer or with the interplay with the other adjuncts. I don't know. It's just not, it's with that, when you get that dream cake, like toasted caramelized coconut, it just seems to have a little bit more depth. And that's a bit lacking here. There's also not a lot of like roasted malt character. It's mostly chocolatey. It could be like mostly chocolate malt in this. I guess what they wanted to construct here is a beer that carries the adjuncts where the adjuncts gets to shine. And they really succeeded in that. Like the barrel is there. There is a bit of that fudgy vanilla bourbon. I think it's mainly just vanilla that shines because of the vanilla. And this might be a case of the adjuncts overshadowing the barrel a little bit. But it's really tasty and it's really fucking great. And I'd be so proud and stoked if I had brewed this beer. So it's a good first meeting with Celestial Beerworks. But I've had better barrel-aged beers. And I've had better barrel-aged pastry stouts as well that I've enjoyed more. But needless to say, I'm still really enjoying this and I think it's good. Is it world-class? Not for me, but it's in the mid kind of 90s range. It's like a 93, maybe even a 94. It's getting close to world class. For this to be world class, I would love to have a bit more depth from the barrel and depth of base beer. because the adjuncts are on point. So nice stuff. If you guys had a chance to try Death Star from Celestial Beerworks, let me know what you thought of it. Big old pastry boy in bourbon barrels, Heaven Hill to be exact. And yeah, if you had it, let me know what you thought of it. As always, comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give the video a thumbs up and join and ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And I'm going to say cheers and see you guys in the beer review.